am in Cartagena of Indies. Beautiful city, but surrounded by walls. These are the ChristPsychosis founded by Pedro de Heredia, a criminal in about the 1530s. See the walls. Okay. Capullo piece here. This is the Bóvedas. But look and see, this Cartagena is infected with ChristPsychosis. They're trying to teach these people here, San Pedro Caber, teaching kids all the garbage of Christianity, keeping the mind stagnated. And across of it is a high school. This is a high school. In the high school, they're teaching all this Christian shit. ChristPsychotic infected. This is school, the Bóvedas in Cartagena. This school here is infecting everybody with ChristPsychosis. Christianity was a mental illness. People that believe in it, of course, if they're educated and they just stop believing it, you're not psychotic. But if you believe the fantasies and you're educated, you're Christophrenic. In ancient times, believing in fairy tales was okay, as is okay when a child is 5 years old and believing all this bullshit. But today, in the 21st century, accepting all this nonsense of God and supernatural as reality is a neurological disorder, a mental illness. All religious beliefs in paranormal bullshit, accepted as reality, is a form of neurological disorder not unlike schizophrenia that must be eradicated if we are to survive. ChristPsychosis' bizarre beliefs made the Conquistadors infected with it rape the Americas, and they destroy everything. They destroy civilizations like Aztecs, Mayan, and Incas, and many more. It's nice to have a good brain, and also to be able to get anything one wants. When one is an atheist, healthy brain, then everything is yours. For the only true God is our penis. Can put piece here for my nephew Marcos' penthouse in Cartagena. He's home away from home. I have the Calpun Piso Villa. Gracias. Show you something what the ChristPsychotics did, the Conquistadores. Religious beliefs are a mental illness. Christianity is the worst. If you are educated and you get rid of it, then you're okay. But if you are educated and you still believe in the fantasies of the 12th century or the 17th century, you are a theotard. Something is wrong with your brain. There is no God or zombie Jesus, angels, or nothing. We create God with the brain. This here is a monastery. The walls that defended the city, constructed by the ChristPsychotics. Christophrenics, Protestant and Catholic, Spanish and British and others, this conquered the world practically. And with the retarded Christian beliefs, they impose intolerance, racism, pedophilia, genocide, and intellectual stagnation. Here are the walls of the city of Cartagena, founded by Don Pedro de Heredia, the criminal. You know, like Columbus, a stupid criminal. This is disgusting what the people did to the natives. They stole their land. They did it in the United States too, but they were the Protestants, ChristPsychotics. And this is Castle of San Felipe, a beautiful fortress, impregnable. It was never conquered. The British Admiral Vernon, the retarded Protestant ChristPsychotic, attacked Cartagena in around 1740s or so, but he couldn't even, the ladders were too short. The retarded idiot made the ladders too short, so so he was defeated by Don Blas de Lezo, a man that had no eye. He had missing one eye, missing one arm, and one leg. It was a horrible defeat for the retarded Protestant ChristPsychotic British. And ChristPsychotic Vernon was related to George Washington, you know, Mount Vernon. Here is Don Blas de Lezo, it's an amazing man. Also, of course, a Spanish ChristPsychotic. So here's the Castle of San Felipe of Barajas. And this is all Christian shit, you know. And Blas de Lezo, the British, you know, Vernon was such a stupid man, ChristPsychotic, that he felt so confident that he was going to beat up Blas de Lezo that he already made this little things putting Blas de Lezo surrendering to ChristPsychotic Vernon, the Spanish and British ChristPsychotics. Well, they hide all this stuff because British got defeated really bad by the Spanish ChristPsychotic Leso. So this ChristPsychosis is a terrible illness. This is Capun Piso. I'm here at the Church of San Domingo, founded the Dominican, it's a Dominican order of Domingo de Guzman, a Spanish order of the Spanish criminal ChristPsychotics. But they built this church, 1540s or 50s. And then the city was invaded by Drake, and for 14 days in 1580. The resistance was futile, and that building, later on, all the walls. Felipe II ordered building the castles, and then you have the castle of San Felipe Barajas in honor of Felipe II of Spain to fortify the city, and then it was very difficult for them to take the city with all these walls. And the gravest danger is that all these people, the Dominicans, all these ChristPsychotic people were in charge of countries and in charge of the education. They keep stagnated the intellect of people with all this garbage. We still do today. You can see the Mormon, church, Brigham Young University. Well, here was Philip II with all the Spanish ChristPsychotics fighting the Protestant English ChristPsychotics. And all the Indians were the ones being killed. Look at all these pirates. All these pirates were British, and they were destroying the whole world, invaded everywhere. Incredible, with the stupid psychosis of believing God nonsense. This is Cartagena's first church. First church. They were very wealthy people, the priests. They're stealing all the gold from the Indians, became very rich. And the reason the Spanish Catholic ChristPsychotics and the British Protestant ChristPsychotics, all these big empires infected with the ChristPsychosis, imported Negroes from Africa because the natives of the Americas were too small. Like in North America, the natives were small and they couldn't work on the tobacco farms and all that, so they imported blacks. And the Spanish did the same to build their forts because the Negroes, unlike the natives, were much, much stronger. This church has collapsed. I'm here, but it hasn't collapsed. But nevertheless, typical monuments of ChristPsychotics. And you have the graves right here, ground. Important people are buried here in the church. Very important people. Right in the church is the altar. A lot of the ChristPsychotics built here. By the way, it smells like cat urine in all this place. I can see the felines are saying, I pee on ChristPsychosis. All of this come from the Roman Empire, state religion, and its worship of many gods. No idea the damage this concept, how criminal these guys were with the Indians. Like India Catalina, for instance. It's just indescribable. I don't have enough time here to actually explain everything. But you people have no idea the crime of these Christian psychotic morons that came over and enslaved the Indians. You have no idea. The more I see this, the more I hate them. This is despicable. I think the Vatican should be, put those people, they should condemn that nobody should enter that stuff and put lunatics in there. There are more tombs. I'm stepping on tombs of all these people. And let's not forget, the ChristPsychotics, Protestant and Catholics are being in control of the education, control of kingdoms, control of everything. The textbooks, the only textbooks are the Bible. So they were entirely teaching these people, stagnating the intellect of kids and children. That's the reason you have creationism and all the stupid rest of dumb religious belief in the United States. And these people are psychotic, are stupid, and are retarded, and must be put in a mental institution and fix their brains up, telling them. They took the Indians and they exported them all over to Europe. They take them for a slave. They give them typhoid, smallpox, everything to these people. Incredible. See what they have in here? A sculpture of a dead man suffering. This is ridiculous. No wonder these people are so psychotic and psychopath and masochistic, and they love blood and flagellation. That's what's Christianity for you. It gives you intolerance and disease and illness and everything. Two important things happened in the late 1400s in ChristPsychosis world. One was Martin Luther, a Christian Catholic. He would rebel and start the Protestant Reformation, which is all the process of fundamentalist idiots and theotards are created because of Martin Luther. A Catholic. Then, the other was the Conquistadors, all Spanish. They came around and start running into the Americas by accident and infecting everything here. And eventually the Protestants, later on in the 1500s, start invading the Americas, the North America. So that's what you have it. ChristPsychosis infection, all things started and then invaded everything. Went to Africa and contaminating the whole damn world with Catholic ChristPsychosis and Protestant ChristPsychosis. They're both illnesses. They all both believe in imaginary zombie Jesus. That was the onslaught. They start raping, pillaging, and creating intellectual stagnation in the whole world.
I'm in Cartagena, Colombia. I want to enter the Museum of Gold of the Zenu. The Zenu were in the area and they made these baguettes. They work in gold with everything.
Forma parte de los departamentos de Bolívar, Córdoba y Sucre.
The states of Sucre, Bolívar, and Córdoba were actually a very interesting part of the culture of the Zenu. See Manariget, but of course theirs is very elaborate, and then you can see it right in here. A whole collection of them. Yeah, these were all used for the chieftain tribe.
Deformaron sus rostros.
And they have all the faces also. It's very similar to the Roman Empire. They had waxes for the ancestors. And then we have all in gold. You notice.
Pectoral mamiforme.
This is for the pectoral, where in your chest.
Para la mujer importante.
For the very,
cargos importantes.
very important ladies, and also the priestess, I suppose. Yes. And you can see also the nariquettes. These are bells. Look at this. Even here in South America, they have bells, all gold, to make all these sounds for the spirits, as they did everywhere in Rome, even in the temple of Jupiter Tonans, the same thing, and used for the spirits everywhere. Typical lady of Zenu, the way she used to dress. But notice here, you see these crosses? Symbol of the sun, right there, in pre-Columbian South America. And gold also.
Representa dando una ofrenda.
And of course this and this your friends. And there comes the Spanish and stole everything and raped the woman and killed him and shoved the Christian nonsense down to their throats. Terrible, but they still do it today. Should be put in a jail. Incredible. Now this here that you see here, this is for the penis. Sacred God. I call it penis Christ. Because Christ is anointed. And this is the ladies.
Para las mujeres.
This is for the ladies' tits. Right, and for the earrings. And of course, nariguettes. This is a nariguette.
La técnica que solamente la trabaja el Zenu.
Look at this fantastic filigree. The work of filigree. See that the vaqueros, you know, this piece of shit people that actually got this stuff, and then it's terrible for archaeology because they don't know what the things are. But here you can see the nariguettes. That's the ones that I'm wearing. And they have some in gold, as you can see all these. And they're wearing it.
Huesos en cerámica, oro.
For many natives around the world, the gold is the tears of the sun god. Here, they even, the Zenu use everything. They use a fish hook. They made everything out of gold. And this is from the Chipcha in like Bogota. And that's what the legend of El Dorado, the Chipcha that actually covered themselves with gold and bathed during the full moon. The Spanish came around and they ChristPsychotics and they stole all the things all around the world, not only these natives in South America. And guess what all the gold went to? After all the killing of the natives and raping them and the stealing everything, it went to the Vatican, it went to all the churches in Europe and around the world. So these people are despicable. They infect, they rape the mind of children with the garbage of ChristPsychosis and all these fairy tales, keeping everybody stupid and dumb. You know, the mental illness of Christian beliefs, ChristPsychosis, which started in Rome, Catholic, and then in the 1500s, they protested against the Pope, so there's the Protestants, and you see it, all the same illness. And they rape and they stole and they took all the money from destroyed empires like the Aztecs and the Mayans, and all that gold that they stole went into Spain for all the altars and the churches. And the protesters, you know, the British protesters, also ChristPsychotic, in fact, they also stole. And they rape North America, as you can see. That's a fact. Pace Diorum.